we are on the air, and I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys out so you can do whatever you do when you're muted out. And good. Did everyone end up getting their dots today? Getting their sheets? I'm hoping so. And is there anyone that didn't? Let's just do it that way. Is there anyone that didn't? I think we got it all worked out. Okay. Well, let's go on back then. We're into Soul of Man Never Dies. I think if I remember correctly, one of the things we talked about last week was how to turn this into cross-picking as well, which that's really cool. That is really cool. So we'll go ahead and do that. I want to get a little heads up here, see what we're working on. Okay. Whew, that's hot. And I had to dig this guitar out. I'm putting a new pickup in my Collings, and this one hadn't been out since camp. Let me give it one more little tweaking while I know you all want to tune up a little better anyway. I don't know if you've put in a Fishman Infinity pickup. It's an easy pickup to put in, particularly if you're just replacing one. But you have to have a special tool. And I had to look all through the house to find it. It's an eyeglasses screwdriver. And if you don't have it, you're not going to finish. And so anyway, it put me behind in getting my guitar done and new strings on it. All right, Mr. McCann, you finally made it in. Good to see you here. He's just now settling in. All right, Soul of Man Never Dies. I want to run it one time, or a couple times first, and then I want to look at the cross-picking stuff, measures, okay? All right, here we go. Good luck. Just not too fast, somewhere in here. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Back to the top. Let's pick it up a little bit. One more. Okay, now, I think if I remember right, and you guys tell me if my photographic memory is failing me at this point, when we turn this into cross picking, we were going to move we were going to hit the first melody note on the 1 beat, but move the next one to the 4 beat, if possible. If we couldn't move it, then the second melody note, if it was in the middle of the measure or on the 3 beat, we're going to move it to the and of 2. And it's easier really if you turn the first note into a 3-beater and then put the next note as a single beat at the end of the measure. So measure 1 would be this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right? Move it to 4. Get it off of 3, move it to 4, makes life so much easier. Now, if you're not doing that, then you're going to end up moving it advanced to the and beat of 2. 1 and 2 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So I think it's easier to move it over to 4. And I didn't mark which measures, and I still don't have a pen on this table. But I think we talked about measure 1, measure 3, measure 4, measure 5. I don't think measure 6, because it's too involved. Not measure 7, not measure 8. These are all cross-pick measures. Again, just put a little check mark over it. Measure 1, measure 3, measure 4, measure 5, measure 9. You could do something with 11, measure 12 for sure, measure 13, and that's going to be the end of it. Okay? Now, it's really just getting the machine going. Let me slide over just a little bit. It's really just getting get the machine going, get it slick, and then your mind will, the melody in your mind as you're playing it is going to decide, am I going to move it, am I going to hit it on the and of 2 or going to move it over to 4? Let's go ahead and look at, let's go ahead and cross pick this. Let's just see how we're doing it. Slow, somewhere in here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right here. Now there's some of these measures, like the end of the first line and the beginning of the third line, you've got more stuff in there than you need to hit. You got to hit your first melody note. End of the first line is going to be the open third string. You don't have to do the hammer on. Now you can, I just did right there, by hitting it on the and of 3. 1 and 2 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and, 1 and of 2 I mean. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but it's really difficult to navigate that and try to get the open back in at the end. What you can do is just take the last open of the measure, replace it with the second fret. Because that's the action that has to take place. You got to change the G to an A note to keep the melody going. Okay? Same with the beginning of the second line. I'm going to hit the hammer on, another roll, and then I'm just going to hit the third string on the fourth beat of the measure. Here, I have a hammer on. I don't have to hit the hammer on. I really want to hit the open after it. This is a mess too. You know, on here, I'm on the third line, third measure. I could either take the 2 and hit it on the second fret, third string. That's the movement here. Because that's do 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 do. That's where the melody goes. So I can either leave the 2 on the fourth beat of the measure or move it over to the and of 2. Either way, you don't have to do a lot of stuff. You don't have to get everything in there. Okay? Let me bump it up a little. You'll see. All right, but tell me if you're getting the hang on this cross picking okay. Don't have to be doing it great, but just throw a hand up there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, good. And then let's just say, are there any questions on that? Any questions here? Okay. All right, good. I wasn't having a seizure or a stroke. I was wondering how you guys would play this if we moved it up to the key of G. That's where my crazy little mind was going. And I don't know, because I've not done it yet. You know, that's even easier. Okay, you got your kickoff. We had this. Let me bring it back so I know what we did there. All right, we had this. So we do the same thing. And you just have to envision the melody notes now in this key. Da, 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 da. Okay, then you have to play the melody while you're holding a chord. And if you've been in my workshops and we've done this cross-picking section, then you probably know if the melody ends up on the second string, you have to move it to the next string lower, find the same note, and then hold whatever chord it says as a closed position chord. All right, now I could also do this. What was that, you might ask? We did this when we talked about Sally Gooden. But see, if I do it this way, and what I've got here, take a look at this, and go ahead and work on this. I've got my D and the G down with my middle two fingers, and I have my first and last finger available to hit this A and this B. This is my melody note to start off. This is the next one I need. And then I need the open. That way I don't have to stop in the middle of the roll and catch that melody note. It's okay if you do that, but this is slicker. And you can also then I'm just going to catch my next G, 7th fret D shape, and use my little finger from the 7th fret to the 9th fret. And that's it. That's going to be slick. Why don't you guys try that this week? I'm running out of storage space in my little head here. But now go up here. Hold this D shape up here. While you're doing the roll, one measure. Actually, yeah, I don't know why everybody always looks up at the ceiling when they're working on this stuff. It's a one measure roll. I was wondering if I was doing the 2 measure pattern, but it's a 1 measure pattern, right? On the 4th beat of the measure, I went up to this little finger on the 9. But you can also do it on the and of 2. And you can just put that down at will. Just keep your roll going. Then you'll have stuff like this. Okay? And that's what I was doing. That really sounds syncopated. Okay, just an idea. All right. Any questions on that? That is a whole lot easier than this. It really is. Okay. Okay. It's just very simple. All right. So let's go ahead and hit this Georgia mail now. Thank you, Jeff, and I'm going to do this. Okay. Thank you. For those that are just checking this out at the house, Jeff Morrison, my good friend, came in and said that was pretty slick. So I do have to agree. That was pretty nice. Okay. Georgia mail. Again, some really nice runs in here. Good luck. Let's run it kind of slow first, and then we'll pick it up. Somewhere in here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wish I get. Let's go back so I can learn this one more time. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, let's go ahead and do we have any questions there? You guys, you I'm sure did better than I did. How'd you guys do with that? Did you make it through it? Hey, those are good numbers to start. Let's see how they go. Okay. Okay, let's go on back and let's pick the speed up a little bit. Good luck. Here we go. Somewhere in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. on that, just throw a hand up. Did you stay with me there? Yeah, just throw a hand up, guys. I got a couple going. All right. Because what I was thinking while I was going through that is, you know, it's doing your repetitions. We got through that at a good speed. That was a good speed right there. It's going to be too fast for 3/4 of you here, though. Or 3/4 of you just got up and made a sandwich, and you did not participate. But even if you brought the speed down a little bit, let me see. Let me just see how fast this is. Got to find my app. Timer. No, stopwatch. Okay, I dinked around and didn't hit it in time. But it was 20 seconds. Now, if you're going to play this in practice and do it 20 times, you're not talking about many minutes to do this. You know, that's the kind of thing you do. As soon as you get down the bottom, you go back to the top. Find a speed that's good for you. If we just did it even at 25 seconds, just that 5-second slow down there, it makes a big difference in the in the beats per measure. You guys were doing it at that speed. Go ahead and play it through 5 times, put 5 tick marks on a page, do 5 more times, bump the speed up a little bit, try to bump it up, hang on, maybe use a metronome that actually you can tell that you've sped it up some. 5 more times. There's not a hard song here. It just has to be played very quickly, and there were a few tricky spots in it. Okay, but it's in the repetitions. So do it this way. You know, we're getting something new today, but tomorrow, say, okay, all I'm going to do is play Bringing in the Georgia Mail. And you may play through it 100 times. In doing that, you've got to memorize it. There's no way you can't. And you've got to get it faster than when you started. There's no way you can, no matter what you do. So 5 times, 5 tick marks. Try to do it just, that's the only thing you're going to do for the half hour or 40 minutes of practice time that you're going to have tomorrow. That'll take care of this one. Okay, any questions on this one? I don't see that there's anything really besides a few little basic bass maneuvers to do on this one. There's really not much. You got to hammer onto the 6th string 3rd fret. You have these hammer-ons onto the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th string at will. Got the 1 bass walk, maybe another coming back, hammer on. I like to walk into the G, so it's 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There's nothing more to do on rhythm. Song goes too fast to cross pick. So, I mean, we're... That's about where see that engine coming, oh, she's making time. That old train is wearing out the railroad line. Okay, that's about the speed you'll need to go. It's going to take hundreds of repetitions. Start tomorrow. Questions, comments, answer statements, snide remarks, or opposing views. Are we good? Okay, I'm moving on to Lost Indian. You know, I stuck this one in. This is not going to be a hard one either. How many of you already do Lost Indian? It's a D tune. I didn't see any hands go up. Is this mic on? I didn't see any hands go up. There's Greg's got one up. All right. But we hadn't done anything in D yet. I wasn't going to go through the alphabet, you know, the musical alphabet, and get all of them in there, but all the different keys. But I did want to do one in D to bring back up our second position stuff. When I'm playing in D or A or G, I'm going to be in second position. This one also has a really nice couple, well, in two places, D runs that are take you up from a higher D spot down to a lower D spot. You got this D that you'll play out of. You got this D spot. You got this one. You got this one. Okay, so you got those 4 spots of D. But what's hard to do is come up with runs that connect, that get you out of it. And you'll see what I mean when we hit the second part. That's where I stuck them. All right. Let me play through this kind of slow because I have to read it as we go. I wrote it down several weeks ago. Lost Indian, the first part is Cherokee Shuffle. Okay, and let's get this whining out of the way. Cherokee Shuffle is a D tune. I don't care what those fiddle players say. The first version I ever heard was Norman Blake doing this in D, and it was with a capo C, and I think he wrote it. Someone can go ahead, and I don't have the time to look up who wrote Cherokee Shuffle, but that's the first place I ever saw it, and it was Norman doing it in D, and somewhere along the way, I think someone told me that he wrote this. I don't know for a fact though. Cherokee Shuffle in the key of D. Lost Indian's an old fiddle tune. first part, not much of a big deal. We are in second position. You have no first frets. So first finger's catching all the second frets, second finger catch the thirds, third finger catch the fourths, little finger's going to get the fifth frets. For the most part. Okay? Starting off, you got a hammer-on triplet. I'm using a first and third. This is kind of like just fiddle mode stuff. Alright? So, anyway, it's just really strong the way it is. Let me point this out, though. You know, I post my little finger on the top. When I'm playing across those bass notes like that, it takes more drive, so I'm actually pulling up on the first string a little bit. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and by the time I get down to getting close to hitting the first string, my wrist has pushed my little finger away, so I'm not touching that first string anymore. Okay, so I'm actually tugging. I don't know if you can see it moving, but I can feel it pulling. Here we're going to have a hammer-on. You'll see that I set up my A and my D because I'm going to hammer on to the B. Okay, I have this finger down at the end of the measure, end of the third measure. All I got to do is set my second finger down and get this one ready to go. Okay. The 2's down, put the third fret down, hammer. Okay. Second line stuff shouldn't be any problem. Second part. You may want to make some notes on this if you got a pencil there, or go back to the YouTube clip. We're at 33:20. Okay, I have a lot of position jumps right here. I didn't write them in. There's not very many ways to do this, and anyway, measure 2 of the second line. The 5 there is my little finger. And then I have to jump to my third finger to the 7. First finger, second, and it's this dissonance that are the cool licks I like. It really does not work. It sounds real pretty. It's not as aggressive, I don't think. If you hit the 7, the 6 there, that F note has this kind of bluesy sound to it, so that's why I stick that in there. So first note is my little finger, then I have to jump up with my ring finger, and I'm coming back and landing with my second finger. End of the third measure is going to be my little finger, then I got to jump. Now it's a quarter note, and that's why I wrote it as a quarter. So you got time, you got an 8th note jump time to get to your hammer-on. Okay? Third line. Jump. Jump. Up to the 10, you can use the same. I'm using first and third for the 5/7. And you can just start to slide down and then hit it when you get to 10. Because I think that's what the fiddles do. Right? You can hear them slide up to it. All right, measure 15. I have to come back to my first finger starting the 5. So it's before that I got the hammer on 5/7, measure 4, third line. 5/7, jump up to the 10. First finger on this 7, first finger on this 5. Using the open string to trigger to get back to the second position here. Okay. Jump. slide. Okay. Now, there's lots of time left. That's all I've got this time. I don't want to. There are other things you can do with this Lost Indian. One thing that we will do, and might as well talk about it now, is going to be jump the first part up an octave. That's where I think that's the register the fiddle's going to do it in. Then you do your second part right in the same spot. I dropped the first part down low, so you'd have that contrast. But really, that's it with Lost Indian. This is a great, great tune, though. This is an old-time tune. I think you're going to like this one. Okay, so let's go back through some stuff. Ooh. I just saw what we're going to be working on next week. Man. Let's go back then and just drill this other stuff for a little while. Unless someone's got any questions on anything, we can move to that too. Any questions on anything? We got lots of time. I don't know how we got through this stuff so fast. And one of the things is that we're not able to really go back through stuff from the last chapter. You know, there's a ton of good stuff back there. Well, yeah, we can. You know, I did print out June Apple. Let's for the folks that were not with us though. Let's go ahead and run through just some of the stuff we just did. Let's hit the Soul of Man again. Just one whack at it, and then let's pick something out of the old set. Okay, all right. Good luck. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Soul of Man. Are you ready? I don't want to move too fast. I don't know if I'm more organized than you or less to pull it out that fast. So I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Cross a picket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One more time. I didn't want to go into G. You know, you could do that low Carter style break there as well, right? There's it just depends on how much playing around you do on this. Now you can also, I didn't think about it, get that Norman effect where you get your quarter notes end up being 2 eighth notes, and then a rhythmic strum in between. And we did that a long, long time ago. Can you explain that again? No, no. The Norman style with the eighth notes in the strum. Yeah. Let's take one measure and look at it. Instead of the hammer on, first measure, hammer on, strum, open, strum. I'm going to do, instead of hammering on, I'm going to down, up on the open to the hem, right? Instead of a single strum, I'm going to do a down, up strum, but the up is just a slight brush. And then I'm holding on to this 2, this E, and I'm going to use it to get to the open. Got my first finger down, still strumming. Third measure, I hit 2 of the opens instead of 1, and then a strum, strum. Instead of hammering on, I'm going to hit them both. Strum, strum. Now, I tend to leave the next one alone. So from the top, I leave this one alone. Now normanize it. Leave it alone. Yeah, you could do that. Now, measure 5. This one I'm going to hit the open and the 2, down, up, a double strum, down, up. Then I'm going to hit the 2 that comes next and tie it eighth note wise to the open and put a double strum after it. So those 2 quarters get squeezed together and turn into eighth notes, leaving me a 1 beat gap after that, and I use a double strum. So it's the hit, hit, strum, strum, squeeze them together, go down, up, strum, strum. Now, is that kind of okay so far? And you can do this measure by measure going through here. All right, so now I'm at the second line, second measure. If I'm going to normanize it, I'm going to change it, because that's just what Norman do. And I'm going to take the E to the C, leaving the D out, turn those into eighth notes. Strum, strum. And then the open to the 2 as a. But see, I'm taking the second and beat the and beat of 1. I'm taking it out, and I'm taking the 3 and moving it into its place. Right now, those are 2 eighth notes double strum. Then I'm going to take the open next and turn it into an eighth note, and have it eighth note into a 2. So I'm dropping that open 4th string that's in the middle, and taking that 2 and sliding it over, because those are your melody notes, and then a double strum. So that measure 6 turns into. And then you leave this alone because there's too much in it. Measure 9, I'm just going to hit the E twice. I'm going to turn this into the 2 to the open instead of the open to the 2 open. It's a 2 to an open now. Strum, strum. Measure 11, I can take the G and tie it to the E. Strum, strum. Now hit a G to an A. Strum, strum. Now let me see if I can get all that stuff in there. Let me go one more time. Normanized. Okay, see how that goes. I learned Grey Coat Soldier this summer, and it's exactly like that. Good, Steve. Yeah, good. Good for you. Grey Coat Soldier. Did you get it out of the Norman book? Oh, the DVD. Okay, good. All right. Let's take it back a little bit. I remember blowing Gold Rush last week. I didn't do too good with that one. Let's try that. I need to have that. Gold Rush should be in my repertory. I got it. Okay, let's try Gold Rush. If you were with us last time, you've got it. All right, let's do it slow at first, and then we'll pick up the speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. was pretty fast there. Who was with me at the end at that high speed? Did I, oh, that's good. Phil, you're coming in there now. Good. Anyone else? Anyone else make it, or was it kind of, was it too fast? Crash, burn. Missed some in the middle. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay. Mr. McCann, how are you doing in there? I'm not hearing much from you. Hello. Okay. Let's just pick one more. Let's try that. Let's get this Katie Hill rolling. Hey, Mr. Case, we're all just trying to keep up. Don't even think about it. We're just trying to keep up. Hey, I tell you what, I heard a great CD this week. It was, I got it, I guess Monday, and I've played the fire out of it. It's at Johnny Stats Robert Schaefer. Does anyone have that one yet? I think you get it right from Robert Schaefer somehow. He sent it to me, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I mean, it was really good stuff. You know, in the old days, when Robert and Johnny got together, Johnny Stats was known as the UPS mandolin player. You know who I'm talking about there? And I played a show with him one time, and he's like, "Is that all you got? I want to go faster, 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 faster." And that's the way he loves playing fast. And the early albums reflected that. Well, this one is different. This one shows musical taste. and I believe Katie Hill is the first cut on there. And they've got that Texas rhythm going. Now, of course, Robert Schaefer on guitar, he's a two-time national champ. Great picker. He's one of these triplet gurus, you know, and so he can do a flurry of notes. I did an album with him called Back Home. It's on my website. You'll see it. And if you don't have it, you ought to run and go get that one. But there was a lick he did in there on something that the only way I can describe it to people is it sounded like he had one of those electric fans, you know, that you hold, a handheld fan, and he put a pick on every blade, and he held it right here and went. It was that fast, you know. Anyway, but I think Katie Hill's the first one on there. They may do it as Sally Johnson, but all right. Let's just play through this one time or twice, and somewhere in there, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Boy, it's got some good twists in there. had this. We had that in there as well. I forgot all about that. All right, did anyone get through that with me at that speed? Good, there's a bunch of you. Good, good. Okay, are you working on the chords too? I mean, you got to get these chords down. Who here can get through these chords in that Texas speed? Anyone? Just got a few. Get these chords, guys. If you need next time in, if you want, we bring it up and we'll go through these chord shapes. Make sure you got them. But it's you got to plug those away. Okay, let's go ahead and hold it there. Any questions, comments? Throw a hand up if you got a question. Are we good? Okay, gang. We'll see you in next week. Great, guys. It's a good group. Good group. Stay with it. And if you have any questions, just send me an email, okay? See you. Thanks.